How are you helping students become globally minded through the expression of curiosity, compassion, and empathy? I will be providing these slides at the end of the video so that you have access to all this information and the links to the websites for your students to make global connections. This is the first one I found, and it's the Student Blogging Challenge. And I think it's run by someone in Australia, if I remember correctly. And basically, it just supports teachers with starting a classroom blog, and it's run twice a year. You can sign up your class in September, but I'm not sure if it was changed to October. So it's early on in the year. And if you don't feel your students are ready for this challenge early on in the school year, you can always wait till March for that blogging challenge. So over 10 weeks, students comment and create blog posts. They have tasks that will increase their skills to help them learn about the process of setting up a classroom blog, the correct way to blog and respond to other students' writing, how to incorporate images that you find online, how to correctly cite information that you found online. And the best part of this challenge is how each of my students is assigned a mentor. Now, this mentor may be an adult or it may be a student who took part in quite a few years of the student blogging challenges and is an expert. So it could be a student that is a few years older than the students in my classroom. So each mentor has about 10 to 30 students, and they check up on them every once in a while and let them know what they like about their blog posts and how to improve the blog posts. The next one I found was quad blogging. And what I like about quad blogging is that you basically choose which countries you are interested in. I wanted my students to communicate with other English-speaking countries around the world. So I think I was given, if I remember correctly, Scotland, New Zealand, and I was assigned also with the United Kingdom, I think it was. So England, Scotland, and New Zealand. And each week, one of us would be the focus class. And we would go into the blog posts of the students in that particular class, and the other three classrooms would have their students comment on the posts of those students. And this was a great way for students to have an audience for their writing and to see the comments of others. And when they received comments, many times they were told what they like about that piece of writing and how they could go about improving that writing. And the third one my students participated in was the 100-word challenge. So basically, it's a weekly writing challenge for children 16 years and younger, and the students have a limit of 100 words, and they would be given either a picture prompt or they would have a writing prompt, maybe with certain vocabulary words that they were asked to use. And what I loved about this was that it challenged my more advanced writers because they could just ramble and go on and on and on and give so much detail, but they really have to give thought on how to say quite a bit in as few words as possible. It just allowed them to take some creative risks with their writing and to choose their words carefully. And my reluctant writers and struggling writers did not feel overwhelmed with 100 words. So kids were encouraged to visit the blogs of other students and leave comments. And again, this was a great way to drive traffic to the blog posts of your students, and that motivated the students to want to write more. I did include some platforms that you can look into if you want each of your students to have their own blog, or if you just want to have a classroom blog. Many of these you do have to pay. Kid Blog was free at one point, but now you do have a monthly fee for using Kid Blog, but I did include some here. Many do use EduBlog. I used Weebly. I enjoyed it. That one was free for my students. I did use Kid Blog, but when I used it, it was free. Now, you might want to look into Blogger, see how your students can use it. So you might have to do some research research and find out from someone in your district which one is best for your students. I did include a link to a tutorial that explained how you can use Google Sites to create a blog. I thought that was quite interesting. So there were other ways that I did global classroom activities, and one was through Mystery Skype. Most games are played by the students asking a yes or no question, and the other class responds yes or no. In the end, the winner is the one who guesses the exact location of that classroom. So here is the website I created to include the blog posts of my students. So here is my page. This is that year I had that 4th grade group in which I was responsible for all the subjects. Some about us information here. This is where I put my blog posts. Here they were learning the difference between categories and tags. This blog post right here is the one that I looked at and made me almost want to cry. And I just saw that it had 39 comments. And it was from 2013, you can see. I'll try to read it quickly since the printing is quite small. And it says, "Dear parents and students of room 309, I can't believe the school year has almost come to an end. We still have over a month of school, but 8 months have flown by so quickly. I love how it feels like we are one big extended family. The end of the year will be quite tough for me because we had so many great times together. We had fun moments, sad moments, tough moments, but overall, it was all worth it. I want you, my students, to know that the New Jersey Ask 4, that was the state test at that moment in 2013. Right now, the students take the part, but at that moment in New Jersey, that was the state test for 4th graders, the New Jersey Ask 4. All right, so I want you, my students, to know that the New Jersey Ask 4 only shows a very small picture of what you are as a student. There is more to showing your progress and growth as a learner than a number on a test. I will soon add a comment for each of you that will show the world who you really are and how you all have grown in one way or another. I would like the world to see you as more than a number. Give me a day or two and I will post the great comments which show who you are as a person. I did a voice recording in which I mentioned memorable times and how I think you have shown growth. I will listen to these notes and add these notes to the end of this blog post. Parents, each child in this classroom has brought joy and happiness to this classroom. They have all touched my life in a positive and rewarding way. It has been my pleasure and privilege to watch your child's personality unfold day by day. We learned and struggled, but best of all, we laughed. Thank you for trusting me and allowing me to experiment with fun and interesting activities. One of the best parts of teaching this year is watching how much students learned about technology and the real world of writing. Have enjoyed the blogging experience, and soon we will speak to other students around the world by doing a video call, Skype, or Google Hangout. The students enjoyed people from around the world, such as Australia, New Zealand, England, and Scotland, reading their writing. I hope students will continue to blog about whatever interests them. Students, I told you the most important part of learning is reflecting on your learning and experiences. I want you to help me reflect on my learning. I learned as much as I could about blogging, but I want to see what suggestions you can give me for next year about blogging. Do you enjoy drafting your writing in the computer and then publishing the writing for the world to read? Maybe you can let me know how writing this way compares to writing the drafts in class on paper and then submitting the papers for grading. Most teachers publish the writing by posting the writing in the hallway for other people to read. What is your opinion about students having their own blog? I value your opinion and will then take your comments and decide what I should do differently next year when it is time to start blogging. Post your comments below. Love, Mrs. Vilas. And I do have comments. I won't read all. I will do my best in picking a few students just for you to see how much they have enjoyed blogging that particular year. Kiara responded, "Dear Mrs. Vilas, I was so touched. Thank you so much for your great teaching. I had a great time in 309. I will have trouble leaving 309 this year because I will miss you and my classmates. I hope one day I can remember you and smile because I knew you were a great teacher for 309. And then I had Kayla. "Dear Mrs. Vilas, you touched my heart and soul. I am really crying right now. You are the best teacher ever, and I want you to listen to my Voki on my 10 favorite things because what I said there was true. You are also right about we had fun moments, sad moments, tough moments, but overall it was worth it. Of course you are right. I just wanted you to know you are the hardest working teacher in my life. To be honest, you are the best thing that happened in my life. This letter was so touching. I hope to be with you today, tomorrow, and forever. Love you, Mrs. Vilas." Juliana. "Dear Mrs. Vilas, thank you. Your letter letter was amazing. I really loved it. While I was reading your letter, you made me cry. Anyway, I really enjoyed publishing my stories on KidBlog or on Weebly. When you write on a piece of paper, it's really boring. You can't add any web tool 2.0. You can't add a link, and it makes it so boring. I really like typing my stories on KidBlog or Weebly because you can add like these tools and links and great, amazing pictures. I think that having a classroom blog next year would be awesome for your students next year because they will have fun Skyping, doing interesting challenges, putting web tools on a blog, and many more. Thank you for your lovely letter. Isabel, you are so kind. I love sharing my opinion of students having their own blogs. I think that blogging is better than writing a narrative or essay online paper. When you post or writing in the hallway, only a certain number of people can see it. However, posting or writing in our own blog never limits the number of people who can see it. I love when I see my flag counter. I guess she means showing many people from different countries who visit her blog. Every student loves that. It would be great if you were able to do more activities regarding blogging with the next group. Anyway, I love the idea of students having their own blogs rather than writing essays and narratives on paper. Janice, dear Mrs. Vilas, that was sweet of you to say that. I'm crying right now. I do enjoy drafting my writing on the computer and then publishing the writing for the world to read. I think having a blog is better because when you have awesome writing and you do it on paper and put it in the hallway, only students in the school can see it and not the world. But if you have a blog, you can post that awesome writing for the world to see. That's why I think having a blog is better. Okay, there was one kid, he was a very funny boy. His name is Lawrence, but he goes, Dear Ms. Vilas, I think blogging is excellent and I like it very much. I never got to do classroom blogs at my old school. I got to hand it to you, Mrs. Vilas. You are an awesome teacher that I have ever had, and we get to make our very own website on Weebly. Also, we get to put lots of things on in our sidebars. Thank you, from the awesome Lawrence. And that little quiet boy, his name was Dorian, and he goes, Dear Mrs. Vilas, that was very nice. You are my favorite teacher. You do a lot to help us so we could be better prepared for the New Jersey Ask. I hope you learned quite a bit from this vlog. Please share what you think. How do you think connecting classrooms globally would benefit your classroom? Post your response below and let me know what you think on the topic of creating global classrooms. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already so that you can receive a notification of my future videos.